Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video. And this one is a video response, and that is to good old Roger Retro. And this is the subject he was chatting about, which is video game collecting. This video I think was about 3 weeks old now, but loads of people have jumped onto it and done VRs to this one, which makes it really interesting. I think the first VR that I saw was by Retro Ed, then Retro Red Steve, Genpix, who always did them, Tutti UK. Big Game Owl did one a couple of days ago, or it might have been yesterday. And another one I discovered today. There's one guy I've forgotten the name of. Channel. Sorry if I forget you guys that it's done video responses for this. And there was another Retro Reclaimer, was it? I watched earlier, which was quite an interesting video as well. So yeah, I've been enjoying watching everyone else's takes, so I thought I'd pop my own little video out there and yeah, just give my 2 pence worth really. So yeah, the first question of the video was, what do we collect? And anybody who watches me, you'll kind of know what I collect anyway. But yeah, mainly I collect for the TI-99 computer, which was my first family computer growing up. So that was my introduction to home computing and gaming really. I also collect for the ZX Spectrum, which was my first computer I bought with my own money when I was a kid. So that's one of my most nostalgic systems. I got a lot of happy memories with that. Then for various other little gaming systems, but they're just smaller collections. So I've got a little collection for the BBC Micro, the Vectrex, what else? Amiga, small PlayStation collection. But yeah, apart from games, I also collect VHS and Blu-rays, DVDs. You know, some sort of films, mainly nostalgic stuff. Oh, cheers, by the way, everyone. I'm just, this is the first time I tried one of these. It is a, what's it called? Drop Bear Bonfire Stout. It's an alcohol-free one, or like 0.5% alcohol, so a tiny bit of alcohol. But yeah, it's a school night for me, so fancied a refresher, so I thought I'd try this. It's quite nice, actually. It's quite smoky, very different to Guinness. But yeah, not bad. Doesn't taste like a alcohol-free beer, so it's quite good. So yeah, apart from that, you know, like I say, I've got collect films, collect music as well to a degree. Not really collect, but I like to enjoy buying music that I like on cassette. I try and sort of recollect the music that I used to have on cassette rather than CD. I try and sort of rebuy those if it's albums that I still like and regret getting rid of, because a lot of my cassette tapes, long story, but I got rid of them quite a few years ago. We were in another country and I couldn't be bothered to bring them home, so I told my father-in-law just bin them, and some of those are now quite valuable cassettes. So especially Aphex Twin, I've seen Selected Ambient Works, for instance, is worth about 100 to 200 quid, that cassette, and I just threw it in the bin. So at least said about that the better. And yeah, that's probably about it to the extent of it. Some people think I collect figures, sort of statues. You can see one up there, Gorgo, and I've got a few Godzilla ones, but I wouldn't really say I collect those. I've probably got all the ones I want now. So yeah, that's about it for collecting, really. And the follow-up question to that was, why do you collect? I think a lot of people would have a similar sort of thing to say on this, and that is, one, why? Because I like to replay all this stuff. Not only do I enjoy going back and playing the games which are nostalgic to me, it sort of takes you back to a simpler time, and they were good games as well. They were good original games. Yeah, different stuff you get now. They're very playable, nice and happy games, a lot of them, so they put you in a good mood. You sort of pick up and play and that type of thing. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I collect them. The other is I just like being surrounded by this collection of games. So that's another reason I collect. But I do only collect to play. I don't collect to have like a full set of anything, or those types of reasons, which some people do. The things I collect are either I'm nostalgic for them, or it's stuff maybe I would have liked to have played back in the day and didn't own, or things which I've discovered later and thought, oh wow, that I would have enjoyed. You know, I would like to have that and play it whenever I'd like. And yeah, I do like having the physical things there rather than just downloading it to a memory card, which I can do on a Spectrum Next. You know, I can play a lot of the Spectrum games that way. But the stuff which I've got nostalgia for. I like having it there on the shelf, and when I play it, I do enjoy loading it up. So yeah, that's why I collect that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's my reason for collecting. Really, no, nothing more than that. And because I can, because I'm lucky. I've got a nice room here where I can store my stuff and display it. I wouldn't want to collect stuff if it's just stashed away in a cupboard somewhere out of sight. So yeah, I can have it all set out around me. So it's nice when I come in. This room used to be our office room actually, and I rebought the TI-99, and then some time later I rebought my Spectrum. And at which point my wife said to me, "Well, why don't you just use this room for like a retro room, put all your game systems and that in here?" Because she already moved on from desktop computer to a laptop. And I thought, yeah, why not? That's a really cool idea. So yeah, that's the other reason why I collect, because I've got somewhere to set all this stuff up, and it's all ready to go. So yeah, it's ready to play at any time, and I can surround myself with all this goodness. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. I don't know as the good and bads of collecting. I don't really have any negatives, to be honest, but I'll get onto my slight one in a minute. So I'll start with the good things about collecting, which is something I touched on already. I think most people have mentioned, and that is the happiness it gives. Nostalgia is a powerful drug, and especially if you're stressed or if you're feeling a bit down or anything like that, even if you're just disillusioned with modern stuff, with modern games and modern music and everything, it's just nice to come into your little area, be that your room or your part of a room, whatever you've got, and just look around you and just see all this stuff and fire up an old cassette, load up an old cassette tape, and play it. Gives you a really good feeling, and I think that's something which can't quite be matched. Same goes for the VHS up there. I can whack a VHS on there. I just enjoy everything about it. This rewinding it at the start if it's not rewound already. It's just a nice. It sort of takes you back, so it's a nice little nostalgia kick. So yeah, that'd be a big part of the good. And the other thing is the community. The retro gaming community really is something else. It's amazing people. I'm lucky enough to be in a couple of WhatsApp groups with some brilliant people in there. One of my daughters is coming in. Got some brilliant people in there, people I wouldn't have met otherwise if it hadn't been through collecting and YouTube. So that's been absolutely amazing. It's brilliant chatting to people, even in just comment section of either my video or other people's videos. It's really nice to have that communication with people, and especially when you do get to meet people, which I've been lucky enough to have done a couple of times now. I've been to a couple of events, and everybody that I've met have just been amazing. They've been really, really good people. And without them, it wouldn't be anywhere near the same pleasure and enjoyment collecting this stuff, and being part of it. Because in real life, I don't know anybody that's got interest in, certainly not in retro games and really retro stuff in it altogether. My wife will have a sort of passing interest in some things that will turn up, if it's a certain retro game or video or something she might remember or be curious about. But apart from that, no one would really care about any of this stuff, really. Maybe to an extent, maybe my sister, she might be interested in some of the TI-99 games that we used to have. One of my dogs just rolled something down the stairs. So yeah, that's the really good parts of it. It's surrounding yourself with nostalgic stuff, taking you back in time, and the community. That's the best things. As for the negatives, I don't really have one, to be honest, and I haven't invested too much into my stuff, thankfully. Because I'm a casual collector, I haven't gone out and bought any super expensive games. The most expensive one I've got is one up there, which is I paid £75 for a TI-99 game. A lot of that was post because I had to buy it from the US, and it was a game which had a lot of nostalgia for from the TI-99. Hard to find, and somebody was selling it new old stock in the US, and I just saw on that occasion I had a coupon from eBay. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy that bloody thing. So, but apart from that, I haven't spent anywhere near that money on any of the other games. So I haven't got too much invested in it. But regardless, the slight negative is that I do feel all this stuff is going to go down in value, not go up. So if ever I needed to shift all this stuff, it would probably be worth quite a bit less than what I paid for it. I did say in one of the groups that I'm in a couple of years ago, that I felt that the 8-bit era of games had probably peaked. And I think that's playing out to be quite correct. You're always going to get exceptions. You're going to get like the sort of full set collectors. So the rare Hit Squad games, for instance, or other games which make part of a collection, they're always going to be super expensive. And the really rare games like big boxed Chaos, for instance, that's always going to be sought after and expensive. But I do think that since I made that comment, I think a lot of the pricier games, which when I bought, I paid market value. I'm always careful and make sure I pay the correct price. I'm not going to pay over. I'll see what things are selling for first, and then I'll buy it when I know it's a good price. I think probably most of, if you take my Spectrum collection, most of it is probably worth quite a bit less now than since I bought it, which would have been from sort of 2 years ago, however long I've been collecting this stuff, maybe 3 years. I don't know how long I've been collecting Specky. But yeah, I think most of it's gone down in value. Some of it quite a bit. Some of the harder to find games, or the games which were steadily selling for, let's say, 15 quid, I see now steadily selling for 7 quid, 6 quid sometimes. And that's happened quite a lot. There's been a lot of games like that. So yes, I do think it's peaked. So I do think value will go down. So if ever I needed to sell all this stuff, I hope to never have to do. But let's say we had to move into a smaller place, something like that, and I had to move a lot of this stuff on. I don't think value retention would be there. I think it would be quite hard to sell. And it's not like with the 16-bit generation and onwards with a Mega Drive, and that way you can just take it all into CEX. This stuff is a lot harder to sell because you've got a lot different market. So I think, yeah, as people get older, you get less new collectors coming in. That's why I think 8-bit has peaked and gone past its peak now, is that we're an older generation in general. You're always going to get some younger people that take an interest and start collecting, but usually it's people that have got nostalgia for the stuff when they were younger. So I think that will probably happen as well with 16-bit, with that sort of Master System or whatever, sort of 1632-bit like SNES and Mega Drive and that. I think those will probably come down in price as well as people get a bit older and the younger generation are collecting more recent stuff. So obviously you're seeing now that a lot more people, I think, are collecting, for instance, Xbox 360, which is, for people like myself, that's not really retro, or it doesn't seem like. But to them, obviously, it is. So those prices will go up naturally. I think they're already going up, a lot of them, as the demand gets higher. But I think you reach a certain point in life where if you've wanted to collect that stuff, you've probably already got it and maybe moved on since then, and prices will drop. So yeah, I think in the long term, you're going to have prices that will reach their peak, but they're also going to drop back down. So if you're a long-term collector, I think what I'm getting at is you're probably going to lose money if ever you need to move it on. So it's not something what you're going to collect and the prices are going to keep on rising, I don't feel. Like I say, not so relevant to me because I haven't got really expensive stuff. I haven't got tons of money invested in all this, and I don't plan to sell it. But anyway, so that's a negative. What was the other question now? I think it was, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Now, me being an old fart, that's a bit more of a difficult one to answer because 10 years' time, I'm going to be 60. So will I still be collecting? That was basically the crux of the question. Will you still be collecting in 10 years' time? The fact that I'm not a hardcore collector and I'm collecting stuff which I either want or have nostalgia for, I would doubt I'll still be collecting as such. Maybe I'll still be buying the odd sort of homebrew games, that type of thing. But yeah, I don't think I'll still be collecting because I think in 10 years' time, I'll certainly have everything I want. And everything I got nostalgia for. I mean, I've already finished a lot of my collection, really. The TI-99, I've got pretty much everything I'm going to find on there, which I want. And the Spectrum, really, there's still some holes in my collection I'd like to fill, but I don't think I'll be still filling those holes in 10 years' time. So I don't think I'll be collecting, but I would hope I've still got my collection. So that's two different things, collecting and having a collection. Yeah, I'd like to think that I still got my stuff. Certainly a lot of it. Obviously, I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years' time, but I'd like to think certainly the likes of a TI-99 collection, which has been very hard to come by. It's taken me a long time to get all the TI-99 games that I've got. So that almost certainly I would like to think I've still got, and hopefully I'll still have my Specky and some other bits and bobs as well. So yeah, long story short, probably not still collecting, but hopefully still got a collection. I think that's probably about the last of the questions really. So yeah, thought I'd put that out there. That's my little thoughts. So, and yes, as for this beer, I recommend it actually. If you want a nice non-alcoholic version of a stout, I think I would actually say I prefer this to the Guinness Zero, which was actually my favourite non-alcohol beer up until now. But yes, it has got quite a smoky taste, so that's either something you'll like or not like. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. If anyone else is going to do these VR video responses to this, that'd be brilliant because I've really enjoyed watching them, all those that have done them. So yeah, I hope to see more. And I'll probably be having another video coming up on Sunday. Might be a pickups video. I don't know if I'll do it this weekend or next weekend. I haven't got tons of stuff, but I've got a few bits and bobs, so probably doing another pickups for the month. So anyway, in the meantime, thanks a lot for tuning in and watching. I'll catch you another time, and that is all.